Namaste, Sasriyakal and Salam friends. Welcome to the talk show Sajan Nair, Tourism, Hospitality and Aviation. Once again, I have the pleasure of introducing you to Mr. Shailesh Thakur. Hi Shailesh, good evening.
Hi, Sajan. Very good evening to you. How are you doing?
Let me introduce Shailesh Thakur this time as a corporate and a airline trainer. He has worked with leading organizations like Sita, Cox and Kings, Thomas Cook at various capacities. He has undergone training from Reliance, Tata, Madhya Pradesh Tourism Board, and many alike. He has been the faculty in various travel and tourism courses in and around Mumbai. Welcome once again.
Thank you, Sajan. Thank you for that introduction.
Today we will talk about the same area of work where it is tour operations or rather tour manager, but questions will be more specific to youngsters who want to join this part of the trade. So your advice and your outlook towards this part of the job is concerned. The first question is definitely, what should a youngster inculcate in him when he's in college and early days of his career? What should he concentrate? What kind of habits or what kind of qualities should he work on? Where should he start from as an individual?
Okay, you mean to say habits to become a tour manager, right? Specifically, or generally in tourism? Okay.
No, generally.
See,
tour manager.
To become a tour manager. Of course, I think tour manager's job is ideal for the youngsters for sure, because youngsters have got energy. That's the best thing, and tour manager needs a lot of energy. Okay, you need to drink Boost, Horlicks, everything mixed together, okay, before you go on a tour. And the youngsters have it abundance, naturally they have it. Second is, of course, a very strong sense of service, because tour manager's job is long hours. Okay, I'll come to all the qualities one by one, but generally, when we look at as an umbrella picture from a drone view of a tour manager, yes, you need a lot of energy, a lot of patience, and of course, a genuine what you can say liking to handle people. In bracket we use the word people management, but you should like people. Okay, you should like people beyond people's grumbling and beyond people's displeasure. You should still like them and still make their tour a fantastic thing. If you can do that, you'll be an excellent tour manager for sure. If I talk about step-by-step things what youngsters should do, well, I think I would first say, if you want to become a tour manager, you should take the example of a lighthouse. When you see a lighthouse, now a lighthouse is always standing strong. That's the most important thing. Okay, whether it is a nice, quiet sea, or it is a storm coming, a lighthouse doesn't ever falter. Its job is to stand strong, withstand all those tsunamis and all those. You never heard a lighthouse collapsing. Till date, if you hear of all the accidents, you never heard a lighthouse collapsing on somebody else, something happening. So a tour manager is just like a lighthouse, because he is the one who has to stand tall and guide his group. Whether you're in India, whether you're in Ladakh, whether you're in Paris, whether you're in the Papua New Guinea jungles, okay, wherever you are, you have to stand strong, okay, mentally, physically, both. Yeah, that's why unfortunately a handicapped person can't become a tour manager, because physically he will have limitations. That's the sad part of the job. That if you are handicapped, for whatever reasons, unfortunately you will not be able to do this job. But otherwise, a able-bodied person, mentally, physically, can become a tour manager. But yes, when I say strong, I mean you have to be intellectually strong and emotionally strong as well. Okay, we use the word EQ, emotional intelligence, knowing oneself pretty well and knowing the samne wala person pretty well, and of course, accordingly changing your style of behavior. That would be EQ all about, emotional intelligence. You need to have a lot of that. physically you can't exercise much when you're on tours. Let me tell you this, so if you're a youngster into physique and bodybuilding, तुम्हारा body पूरा उतर जाएगा because you won't have enough time to do bodybuilding and all. But yes, you should be sturdy. You may be lean, trim, whatever, but you should be sturdy. I've seen people who are 150 kilos also being good tour managers, because when the time comes to run, they run. Okay, so you should be agile. Okay, not fragile, agile. Yeah, that would be the word. So a lighthouse is the best example. You got to stand like a lighthouse. And yes, other than that, of course, there are a lot of things which a youngster needs to inculcate. One is all the knowledge about the destination. Today, Sajan, we are lucky that we are in the world of technology. जहाँ पे हमको यहाँ बैठ के I can see a street in Tokyo and Sydney. मुझे पता है कि वो सिडनी का street कैसे दिखता है यहाँ पे. How will a restaurant look? So it is fantastic. एक ज़माना था when we used to do tours, I would just imagine a place I'm going. I remember when I did Morocco for the first time, nobody in our office had done. So we were going to Morocco for the first time ever. And we had a very high profile client, okay? And we always scared, how would the tour go? But today, if I were to do a new destination, I can see the place exactly the way it looks. Google, apna Google Baba, yeah, and our girlfriend Alexa also can tell us a lot, isn't it? So you make use of technology, study the destination in and out. Say, for example, if you're staying in a particular hotel, uske aaspas kya hai? Where I can get a SIM card. Simple thing. Can I get a SIM card? Can I get a drinking water? Is there a shop around? You don't have Panwalas International, but at least you have those small kiosks, वहाँ पे shop को कुछ मिलेगा क्या? Is it a foreign exchange counter next by? You can see it because you can study the streets. So as a student, are you willing to go into in-depth study, of a destination? And I just don't mean overall seeing the map of Singapore. You have to go into details. कौन सा street है वहाँ से, metro कितना दूर है, कौन सा shop है, how much time it takes from there to go to say Marina Bay Sands Hotel or whatever, or the airport, how much time it takes, what is the route. You also need to know sometimes the highway numbers. Okay, like you're driving in Europe, you're always driving. Your tours are completely in a coach. You sit in day one in a coach, you end your tour, you get out of coach, and you're doing the entire European continent in a coach. And sometimes the drivers can get misled because they don't know the route, the highway numbers. And you need to know, okay, fine, Paris to Zurich is highway number A4 or A5 or whatever, So that's the kind of detailed knowledge. Are you willing to do that much of studies? Because a lot of students think tourism mein mast time pass kar lenge, but are you getting into those kind of details? Yeah. I remember, I'm not boosting out here, but we tour managers on the flights, especially long haul flights, would sit and study. Literally would sit and study, I remember till date, I've done a tour of a very high profile client to New York, and I literally have a whole notebook full of notes of every single important building in New York. What is the history? What are the admission timings? What are the timings? Everything. So if somebody asks me something, I can just tell you. And I had not been to New York earlier, so I had to maintain this little diary, a whole notebook rather, with all the cuttings and everything. So that's the kind of in-depth knowledge you need to do as a tour manager. Okay. Other than that, of course, lots of patience with Indian passengers. Lots of patience. Okay. P for patience, because I think all the passengers will drive you nuts at times, okay, with shopping, with nightlife, and they will ask you the same question again and again, and you still have to have a smile on your face, or at least not have a grumpy, froggy face, okay? Yes, sir. Sir, ho jayega, don't worry. Yes, so I mean, you have to just buy that, but that requires a lot of patience because from inside you're boiling, I imagine some passenger calling you at 12 in the night saying, "Mera shower chal nahi raha," and you like wonder. Okay, fine, but can you give galis to the passenger? No, okay. Or some passengers calls you at 1 o'clock saying, "मेरा passport मिल नहीं रहा है," and you're like, okay, so you have to whatever, wear your nightgown, night suit, whatever, go to that passenger's room and help find the passport, because otherwise next day morning your tour is in trouble. So lots of patience, and you don't do it with a grumpy face. Patience with a smile. Okay. So after all these idiotic questions and idiotic hours, you need to have lots of patience, knowledge of the place, patience, so on. Yeah. So there are all these qualities. Foreign language aata hai to fantastic. That really helps you a lot. One more important thing before you ask me the next question is respect towards the guides and the drivers. Okay, I mean that is so very important. Okay, you give respect, you get double respect. A simple thing like, आप five-star hotel में रह रहे हो, you are having a lovely breakfast. That guide and the driver has come from a very humble background. Poor fellas come at 7 o'clock. He's waiting outside your hotel. He's left his house at 5:36. He's left you in the night at 10 last night. He has not got enough sleep. He's not got enough food to eat or whatever it is. You carry a small pastry or something from the buffet, okay? And you give it to him. Look at the smile on his face. That's a fantastic thing. Every tour manager should do that, you know. Respect all those people who are helping you out on the tour. I know it's a commercial world, but these things matter a lot, you know. So I think these are a couple of things, and the problem solver, of course.
Shailesh, I have two questions out of the
Yes.
of what is spoken. One is how does it work? Like I'm positioned at UK in London for 3 months as a tour manager, and people keep coming in for in the season time, or is it that with every tour I keep coming back and going back to the same place? How does it work?
Okay, there are two ways it works, Sajid. One is if you're doing leisure tour, then the way you said that you're stationed in London and you're just receiving groups, showing them Europe and putting them back at the airport and receiving the next group. That's what a leisure tour manager does, because leisure itineraries are the same generally. You know, you call them group departures, group series, all your Vina Worlds and Caseries and Thomas Cooks and SOKCs and all the people who handle group departures. So they need to, he's called MOS, man on station. Okay, so they normally will keep certain itineraries which are repeated, like a Europe or Far East or Australia. They will keep somebody stationed, you know, in that city. And many a times, and even in this fashion, the tour company saves money on taking this man back and forth, you know. So the people are stationed there, and he just receives. So and people don't need your passengers don't need help on the flight. Okay, check-in, flight, airport, they can manage on their own. What they need help is the moment they land in London or Singapore or Sydney, that's the time they now need your representative who will now take care of them till the time they are with you, until the time you drop them back at the airport. So that's how the leisure tour manager generally works. You know, he's stationed in a particular place. A MICE tour manager cannot be. The reason being, obviously, because every MICE itinerary is different. Different companies, different itineraries, different programs. One MICE tour may do Dubai, but his Dubai itinerary is different from another MICE company. You know, so you can't have anybody stationed anywhere. Okay, unless you have a MICE group where there are probably 10 departures happening, then maybe it makes sense for a company to keep somebody as a man on station. But otherwise, generally, MICE tour always you have the tour manager going from India, coming back and going back again. You know, so that's how you have two types of tour managers.
Nilesh, out of the conversation, second question is the way you're telling me the profile of the tour manager and the work is concerned.
Right.
And we have many girl students saying that they want to get into as tour managers. How do you look at it? We know we have Anita also.
Absolutely.
As a colleague
Yes.
here. But I would like to know your views. How is it really tough for them, or do you think it is something that man, women doesn't matter? It's matter dedication and outlook matters.
Girls, it can be a little tough, you know. I mean, of course, due respect to Anita, and Anita is doing a great job as a tour manager. She's a strong lady. You can make out the way she speaks and her personality is. But a lot of companies, and even the ladies would not find it very comfortable doing a tour where there are all men, especially dealer groups, you know, dealers and all men. And what happens is people are on a holiday and all men's group. It would not be very, very comfortable for a lady to escort a MICE tour, especially where there are all men groups. With their families, I think ladies can do the tours equally well. Just that women have to be a little more emotionally stronger, because you cannot start crying in front of your passengers, even if you want to. And not every lady would do that, but it is natural for sometimes women to certainly start crying, because they are a lot more softer in their approach. But otherwise, I don't see any issue. Ladies doing tours, they do an equally good job. There are a lot of women today working as tour managers today. But when it comes to MICE and all men's group, then the companies definitely don't take a chance, because then there's nightlife involved. And sometimes the tour manager is going with the group, you know, escorting them and taking them to those night spots and all. I think for women, it will not be advisable. Plus, some people are drunk, and you can have security issues as well. So MICE tours, you have limitation for the women. Leisure tours with families, women can absolutely go on tours and, you know, go anywhere in the world. perfectly
Very
fine.
nice, very
Perfectly.
nice, Shailesh, to get that little insight. The young girls who are thinking of, young ladies who are thinking of it,
Yeah.
they know what they're going in for. Very thank you so much
Yes.
for giving that outlook is concerned. Not many share that. Going forward,
Yes.
going forward, um, uh, what are the do's and don'ts of a tour manager when on tour? Can you spell out one or two of them? This is the things that they should do, and these are things that they should not do at all. Anything like that that you have made a note of yourself for yourself?
The first thing they should do is they should always have a smile on the face.
Ah,
The first thing, okay? You can't look like a Khadoos pigeon, kabutar going on that tour, okay? Because if you don't have a smile, people are not comfortable, your group, yeah? So you have to have a smile. And smile also shows that everything is going fine.
okay.
Everybody, you enjoy. I've taken all the burden on my head and I'm still smiling, but you enjoy your tour because you're on the tour not to enjoy the tour, you're on the tour to make them enjoy the tour. Okay, so that has to be very clear. A lot of students want to go on tours because they want to see the place. I said you won't see the place. I mean, I remember in the 5 years I've probably taken 6 or 7 pictures, okay, of a particular place. That's it. Because you can't be sitting and clicking pictures and the group looks at you and saying, wow, you're the tour manager, enjoy kar rahe. So one thing you should do for sure is always have a pleasant disposition on your face or a smile. Okay. Of course, laughter is great. You laugh with the group. You enjoy with the group. Okay. Things which you should not do is, of course, don't show the group that there's a trouble, there's a problem. Okay. You only show the group there's a problem when there's actually a situation where now you need to tell the group that hey, now we need to be careful. Otherwise, make it look like wow, it's all cakewalk. You know, you know, it's not cakewalk. Sometimes it is a very thorny walk. Okay, but the tour manager tries to camouflage everything. Okay, it's like a Bollywood movie. Nobody shows you वो shooting के पीछे कितने से retake हुए. You only see a Madhuri Dixit dancing and a lovely धक धक करने लगा, but beyond that, 10 times they have to fall in the grass and all that stuff. Nobody sees that. So I think that's the most important thing where you try and make it look very seamless for your group. And and of course, drinking, smoking, definitely you don't do it in front of passengers. Okay, you have to maintain certain etiquette. Hygiene is very important. You don't openly flirt with your passengers. Even if you like some passengers, okay, you have to maintain a lot of control on your emotions. Okay, even if it's Valentine's Day and some passenger comes and wants to kiss you, and the lady's husband is looking at you, okay, you maintain certain distance. Okay, because people are in a flirtatious mood. They are on a holiday, and if you are charming enough,
Yeah.
they want to know you, they want to get pally with you, but you don't want to be a you don't want to be a home breaker, okay, out there. So you have to maintain your professionalism at the same time. I know a lot of stories of where tour managers have got married to the passengers later on, okay, but you don't get married on the tour, please. Yeah. Although if you're doing a Las Vegas or something where there are these very quick temporary churches available where you can get married, so you don't do that. So definitely you have to be a lot more professional, extremely hardworking because on the especially my tours, I remember we have slept at 1:30 and 2 in the night and still got up at 5 in the morning to check the buffet. So and you still can't look like oh my god, and you can't have that look on your face. It is hard work. Tours is physically very demanding. Um, but but you try and catch up on your sleep a little bit in the bus. If you are going on a long distance drive, you close your eyes for some time, you meditate for some time, so you have a control on your physical and your mental condition. Okay, passengers are grumbling, you still control your anger, you still control your emotions. Yeah, initially it will be difficult. Initially you'll feel very disgusted. I remember one or two tours I've actually cried, in my hotel room, because I said, what the hell is happening here? Everybody's unhappy with the hotel, the food, etc., etc. But slowly you become a little thick-skinned. Slowly you understand that you look at a bigger picture. The bigger picture is people are grumbling about that one paneer and one curry. It's okay, you know what I mean. The bigger picture is they enjoy end of the day. I've seen a lot of people sometimes they grumble a little bit, but at the end they're gone happy. And when they're happy, they give you tips and all that stuff. That's another thing of your tour. So definitely a lot of patience. People management skills are very important. You're dealing with hotel staff, airport staff, your drivers, your captains, your guides, your travel agents, and of course your passengers. You're dealing with people non-stop. People skills very very important, and the best thing in people skills is a little small talk, a little smile. So this is an important do in your life. And don'ts is well, however painful, however you're standing for 4 hours at the airport, and you just quickly massage your feet when you're on the flight and start your day. You can't be grumbling, "Arey yaar, pair dukh raha hai," this and that. No, you can't. And I've seen a lot of tour managers trying to regain their energy by drinking in the nights. Avoid doing that, because sometimes there are chances that you may oversleep and next day you may not get up. I've seen a couple of tour managers, the young ones who join, they also get carried away. To throw us a drinks area, and because you're tired and you're drunk, you don't get up in the morning, and that can be a disaster. So you have to be always alert. That's very important. Alarm, just put 3-4 alarms with you. Another do, please carry 3-4 alarms with you to get up.
Very interesting, Shailesh. One is that maintain a distance with your customers. You're a customer, you're doing your work, they're having their fun, they're having their holiday, but at the same time, be polite, at the same time, firm. Very nicely said. Shailesh, how is it handling international clients? Is it different? Is it difficult? How do you look at it? International clients.
Okay. Interestingly, I have always taken Indian clients overseas, outbound. That's what we call it, outbound tourism. But interestingly, I've done MICE tours where there is a MICE Indian company, but they have their foreign counterparts. Like, for example, I've done a tour to Dubai, where the company was an Indian pharmaceutical company, and only 2 people from the Indian company came with me, and the rest of the group of 45 people came from West Africa, all the West African countries. They came to Dubai. And Dubai was a place where they had a little training, a little gala evening, a little sightseeing, and they would go back to Africa and we would come back to India. So Indian MICE, but handling their staff was based in Africa. So they all were Africans. Senegal, Dakar, Ivory Coast, all these very, very chota countries, never heard of also many times. And surprisingly, Sajan, it was a great experience. I was wondering when Africans say, how it will be. It will be very cultural change. And we seem to have a very different notion about African countries or the cultures out there, but it was fantastic. These guys were thorough professionals. They came from very poor countries. Let me tell you that. I mean, some of them showed me photographs of their houses back home, and they were, very humble places. But the way they dressed up for the gala evening, evening dress and all, and the way they came on time, Sajan, none of my Indian groups ever came on time. If I tell them next day morning we're meeting in the lobby at 8:30, 8:25, everybody's standing in the lobby. Okay. I was like amazed. I said, Garib Desh hai, but they have that sense of professionalism. I was amazed. The sense of dressing was perfect. Dubai, we did this tour in the month of July. Dubai is 50 degrees, scorching heat. Okay. But these guys would request, can I get some bottle of water? And I said, yeah, of course. I mean, it's hot outside, obviously. But the way they would request, very humbly, Thoda sa Indian groups, I would not see that much. Are pani dena na, please. Are pani de do, that kind of thing sometimes, because it's hot outside. I understand you need water, but the way these guys dealt, it was fantastic. It was really good. So I realized one thing, that punctuality or professionalism was extremely ingrained in these people. Cleanliness, speaking softly. Although they were Africans, and when they danced and all, they had this loud music. But when they spoke to each other in the bus and all, it was absolutely, classy and to the point and quiet and very subtle. Unlike, I remember Indian groups, we always create hangama. We always spread the Indianness all over. Chahe Paris Eiffel Tower bhi ho, even if you stand down, you can hear somebody shouting on Eiffel Tower. There's a very funny joke, okay? Niagara Falls, Indian group had gone to Niagara Falls, and the captain of that Made of the Mist, okay, that boat which takes you very close to the falls, the captain made a big announcement saying, the Indian group, can you keep quiet so then you can hear the waterfalls? So we in the Chinese groups, we create a full hangama when we go. I've seen my Indian groups playing Antakshari in the flight. Can you imagine? Can you beat it? Playing Antakshari in the flight, and the captain had to come and make an announcement as the co-captain came and said, please stop, this is the aeroplane. They're playing Antakshari on the flight, some Lufthansa, I don't know, some airline, I don't know which it was. And of course, I had to also tell my group, please, yeah, because it's a flight, yeah. So you have to maintain that kind of discipline. So thoda sa, sometimes when it comes to discipline, we can go a little over, we get overexcited.
Anish, the second last question, one quick thoughts on that.
Yes.
You've traveled around the world, been to so many countries. Any weird rules or regulations or anything, something in any country that follows that's absurd that can be spoken about that stays with you as such? Anything out of the box?
Yeah. Weird rules in the sense, I think most of the countries are pretty strict about their rules. Like for example, I think one of the most commonest rule I think you also would know is, it's not weird, but Singapore. If you smoke in a non-smoking area, 1,000 Singapore dollars, 50,000 rupees. I said 50,000 rupees. I mean, are you crazy? Ek cigarette ke liye, and if you litter, again they charge you 50,000 Indian rupees. That is 1,000 Singapore dollars. Now that was too much, and I still can't fathom this fact. Or if you go to Gulf countries, if you see any magazine which has got a little adult picture or something, they'll pick up the magazine and they'll start using a marker, and they'll start either they tear off those pages, okay, and they give you a magazine back, or they start putting they blacken it with a marker or something. So there are a lot of countries with different really weird rules. US, when I'd gone for the first time, I had these dogs sniffing all over. I was waiting for my baggage, and when bags came, all the dogs around me, sniffing. So they sniff all the passengers. If you don't like dogs, you feel like they're like crocodiles all over you. So countries do have different rules and weird things. Like on the South Korean train, I remember we were going on the bullet train in South Korea from Seoul to Busan. Busan is another beautiful seaside city. And there are these corporate passengers going, and a lot of people are going up and down. And my group, as usual, Indians, they were chirping, talking going on. And my guide told me, "Can you please tell your group to stay quiet?" I'm like, "Oh, what happened? We have legal tickets, okay? No, we don't talk on the trains like this." And I was like, "Okay." And I had to tell my group, "Can you please be very quiet? This is why, like, yeah." I said, "No, because these guys don't speak like this on the trains, and it is pin drop silence." And I actually took a walk on the entire bullet train, and I realized they are very softly talking to each other. The entire train is quiet, okay? And this was very funny. And one last thing, on the same train, I saw some people standing in the passage, okay, of the bullet train. So I asked my guide, I said, "There are seats vacant inside the compartment, because they have the sliding doors. Why are they sitting inside?" So she said, "No, they have bought the tickets which are only for them to stand in the passage, for that passage, because they are going to get down at the next station. So even if the seats are vacant, they are very honest, and they will not come and sit on the seat. Unlike India, khali dikha to hum baith jate hain, So, and I was like, and she said, "We are honest. We don't know how can we be dishonest." And that was very weird to me, because I said, "We know how to be dishonest," very naturally. I said, "Honesty." I mean, for when she said that we don't know how to be dishonest, and I said, "How can that be?" Because I was saying it's the other way around. With us, we know how to be dishonest. We don't know how to be honest generally. So yeah, so I was really amazed that nobody came and sat on any of the seats. There were a couple of seats vacant, but they would stand for 1 hour in the passage, but not enter the compartment and sit on those vacant seats. And the best part is, twice there was no ticket collector to check our tickets. We went unchecked on a bullet train, and no ticket collector came and checked, because it was assumed that you have a ticket and you're on the train. And that's the kind of honesty they seem to have, and I still can't believe them. I'm still lost. While here we have a ticket collector checks twice sometimes, and if you take a long distance train in India.
We run away from that. Police run behind you. And that's what we do.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. So these are really interesting things.
Shailesh, last question. We are completely running out of time. We're completely running. I want your view on this, because what is your advice to the young, to the upcoming? What would you say to them, a message to them?
Okay, to the young, Okay, just one last thing I'll say is please keep your minds open, keep your ears open, be alert, be active, learn as much as you can, because nowadays people are doing cut paste copy a lot, students especially. Cut paste copy will not work. You have to do a lot of mehnat. Take really passionate interest in knowing the subject. If you become a tour manager, really do your job well. Don't do because you want to take pictures for your Instagram and get likes. That's the last thing on your priority. Rather, you shouldn't even take pictures. But managing the tour, managing people, I think that has to come first if you want to become a good tour manager. Knowledge is extremely important. Control on your anger is important. Control on your eating habits is important. I know tour managers, some have a very, very simple eating habits. Although you see an entire buffet laid out, they only pick up rice, dal, and sabzi because of your physical health. Control on your tongue. The whiskeys, vodkas, rums can wait. Okay, and of course, bad habits also can wait. And I'm sure then you can see the world, you can earn money, and the life is your oyster. That's what I can say. You know,
Whiskeys,
that's what it
vodkas,
is.
and cigarettes can wait, which means on duty, you're supposed to not do it. When you come back home, when you're there with yourself, you can go along the way you
Or
want.
do it very discreetly. Not doing it also is impractically not possible, but do it very discreetly. I mean, you don't smoke so much that when you open the mouth and say hello sir, namaste, and your mouth is full of black gutka and black teeth. Yeah, again, there's something called as first impressions. And first impressions are very important. When your group meets you for the first time, they make an impression about you. Is he going to be a lighthouse, or is he going to be a crumbling lighthouse? When they look at you, your physical features, the way you speak, everything matters a lot. So your discipline in life is going to make you a good tour manager for sure. You know? And
Shailesh, we had
it
a
comes
very
it comes with a
interesting,
little sacrifice.
Shailesh, we had a very interesting discussion. I believe the viewers will have insights into particular insights into what a job of a tour manager is. You shared
Right.
with us. Thank you once again for